So much of the advice that happens from fitness professionals and in the fitness industry, it's all about the optimal. No, not only are they talking about the basics, but they're talking about the optimal things that you should be doing. You should be sleeping 8 hours a night. You should be taking your supplements. You should be getting morning light, sun in your eyes. You should be making sure that you work in a job where you can walk around all day. You're not really seated. You need to be having non-GMO, grass-fed beef, all the organic stuff. You need to be making sure that you're staying away from different plastics. You need to make sure that you're not in electronic EMF fields all the time. You need to be barefoot, feeling the ground. You need to be using a squatty potty. You need to be you need to be exercising at least an hour a day. You need to be able to blah 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 blah. And if you think about it, it's impossible to do some of this stuff. Like not everyone has the ability to be up around the sun in the morning and be outside looking at the sun. Not everyone has the opportunity to be outside and barefoot. Not everyone has the opportunity to leave their job for a job that allows them to be more active. If you think about a nurse, for example, they have to work overnight. Paramedics, police officers, these people have to stay awake when they should be sleeping, and it's not the best thing for their health. So what might be optimal is not practical for them. So what I'm suggesting for the industry and for yourself specifically is to find what's practical and not optimal. Yes, I would like you to have a perfect form when you do exercise. I would like it to be at least 4 days a week. I would like it that you get in the sun. I would like all these things. Now, I'm not going to go to the extremes of some of the things I listed that I would like. But, you know, it's optimal to get 8 hours of sleep. But is it practical when you have a 1-year-old who's not really sleeping through the night yet? No. So what's the purpose of me trying to tell you that you should be sleeping more? At this point, we're going to focus on what's practical, what's possible in this scenario, in this context. So we have to find a way to meet you where you're at in relation to these targets. You can't get 10,000 steps for whatever reason. Okay, let's try to get 7,500. You can't get 8 hours of sleep. Let's try to get 6.5, 7. You can't get enough hydration. Okay, let's try to get something. Like you want to find a plan that fits for you. Is it ideal that you work out only 2 or 3 times a week? No, but is it better than nothing? Absolutely. I never think that anybody can be optimal. It's impossible unless you somehow have full control of your life and have no outside factors, no children, no spouse, no work responsibilities, no familial responsibilities. You're not affected by anything that's around you. In that case, maybe you can live that optimal life, that optimal approach. But for most people, the average person, it's about being practical over optimal. So we got to find what works for you, what's a practical, reasonable thing for us to ask you to do at this point in time, moving towards these targets that we've talked about so many times. So let's focus on being practical, not optimal. You're not trying to be a perfectionist. And so many people worry about the details so much because they're worried they want to be optimal. But in the end of the day, it's more important to be practical. It's more important to be consistent, resilient, than it is to be optimal or perfect or ideal. Practical over optimal.